Hello everyone. I will talk about the smart grid technology and smart cities Sweden. So let's start with the scope of presentation. First is background, Sweden's electrical supply and consumption. And then I will talk about the smart grid technology in Sweden, which are the areas covered and the technologies such as the wide area monitoring control integration or the renewables and distributed generation integration. And I will also talk about EV, electrical vehicle charging infrastructure. And last, I will talk about a project called the Smart City Sweden. Background, Sweden's electrical supply and consumption. So Sweden is ranked number 1 on the World Economic Forum's of the Energy Transition Index. The Energy Transition Index benchmarks countries on the performance on their energy system, as well as their readiness for transition to a secure, sustainable, affordable, and reliable energy future. The ETI scales from 0 to 100. Sweden ETI score is 79. This is the energy supply and consumption chart from 2012. Sweden used mainly renewables, nuclear, and the fossil fuels as supply in 2012. But now things have changed. Sweden have moved to mainly hydro and nuclear power. This is a graph for usage and production. As we can see, Sweden has been producing more than using the power, so they need to export their power to other countries. This is the electricity production in Sweden. As I have said, Sweden uses mainly hydro and nuclear power now. The next section, smart grid technology. These are the areas that cover the generation, transmission and distribution, industrial, service, and residential. These are the smart grid technology. First, the wide area monitoring and control integration, or the information and communication technology integration. The renewable distributed generation integration, the transmission enhancement application, and the advanced metering infrastructure, EV charging infrastructure, and the customer side system. This is a detail about the metering infrastructure or the smart meters. They have been stopped using the manually using person to collect data about the usage of the power from each houses or each factory or something like that. Now they use the AMI, which is the smart meter that can automatically send the data via the Wi-Fi or the radio signal to the service provider. This can reduce many costs, like the customer services cost, the field service cost, the management cost, like that. This is the diagram of the advanced metering infrastructure or the smart meter. As you can see in the picture, they send the data via the radio or Wi-Fi to the service provider. And this also can improve the control. Next is the EV charging infrastructure. In the year 2021, there will be over than 13,700 public charging points in Sweden. It's said that 65% of Swedish drivers can access a fast charging station at home or work, even under other public places. This is a stack graph of the number of charging stations for electric cars in Sweden from third quarter of 2017 to the fourth quarter of 2020 by type. As you can see, it has been increasing the number of charging stations from the 2017. Next is about the renewable and distributed generation integration. The Sweden energy policy goals. Objectives. There will be at least 50% of renewable energy total use and at least 10% of renewable energy in transport, and will be 20% more efficient energy use. And in the future, by 2020, which is the past now, fossil fuels for heating will be phased out. And by 2030, Sweden should have a vehicle stock that is independent of fossil fuels, or they will use all the EV. And by 2050, sustainable and resource-efficient energy system, there will be no net of emission of greenhouse gases. This is about the Smart City Sweden project. The Smart City Sweden is the state-funded export platform that initiates cooperation between Sweden and other countries within the Smart Sustainable City solution, gathering the best practice from Sweden within the 5 areas: climate, energy, environment, mobility, digitalization, urban planning, and social sustainability. Subject-relevant focus areas. There are a total of 17 global goals, and I will focus only on the subject of smart grid, energy efficiency, energy production, and waste to energy. If you are interested, there will be more info at the smartcitysweden.com. The future of smart grid. They will incentivize the use of electrical power when the electricity is abundant and store energy locally using the market-based mechanisms. And there will be more of energy efficiency. They use the innovative solutions that will help the creating solution that will enable the an efficient use of energy. The energy production. They will rely fully on the renewable energy. The development of flexible energy production, demand-side flexibility in consumption, increased energy storage capacity, and smart grid will become increasingly important. And smart grid, with the possibility to switch between different types of renewable energy sources, will also become increasingly important in the future. And last, the waste to energy. This is actually the inspiration for me to talk about Sweden, because I have heard that Sweden needs to import trash or garbage from other countries, and they will use it as the energy source. The incineration is the method ideally suited to waste that cannot be recycled any other way. It is an efficient and environmentally safe method for recovering energy from waste and provides both district heating and electricity in Sweden. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.